Luke and Susie with you for Faith, Family, Culture. And Luke, when Marie Kondo had a Netflix series, you might remember the world went crazy and everybody was organising their home.
And I was with them with understanding what was going on.
Yeah.
I think I've lost touch.
Well, obviously, because round 2's here. Get Organised with the Home Edit is now on Netflix and everyone is going crazy for it. I started watching an episode and I thought, no, I need to do this when I've got time.
Yeah.
Because I need to not just watch the episode. I know I'm going to leave the episode and rearrange the entire house.
I only heard the term like 2 days ago when Janelle, my EA, made some quip about the Home Edit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean by, like, I thought she was just making some kind of, she didn't structure a sentence well. And she went, don't you know what the Home Edit is? And I'm like, no. She's like, where have you been living? I'm like, apparently on Google Hangouts at work. But
all right.
Our next guest has got an explanation as we're going to go and start to organise our world a little bit better. Little Miss Organised is going to join us next.
Spring cleaning, it's a sick, disgusting job. Sick, disgusting job, but it's gotta get done.
She is Little Miss Organised and one of the hosts of the Little Home Organised podcast. Bonnie Black is joining us. Good to talk to you, Bonnie. How are you?
I'm great, Susie. How are you two?
Yeah,
so good.
Lift the rock off me, Bonnie.
I'm actually keen to know, for you, as someone who organises people's homes, having a show like this come out, is it good for business?
It is, because a lot of people then get awareness about the industry. Probably what's the flip side of that coin is that people ring you and say, can you organise my house like the Home Edit in 1 hour and for $200?
Yeah.
Well, no, we can't.
Okay, what is like the Home Edit? What is the whole thing? I've got no idea what we're talking about.
So the Home Edit is an American-based business, and their whole philosophy is about making those Pinterest perfect pantries. You know, they love rainbow colours. So their signature is a rainbow. So if you've got a selection of kids' books, they want to rainbowify it. If you've got clothes, they want to do it in a rainbow array of colours. They are all about the pretty side of organising.
Oh, that must have been what my EA was talking about, organising it in colours. That sort of makes sense of the context of the statement. All right, okay. I'm starting to come with you.
So their big thing is on the show they have 2 different clients. One is your average family, and then they do another celebrity. So it's good because it really draws people in, because they're celebrities that are getting, spaces organised, and they'll go in and they'll, have a little chat with the client and talk about what their goals are, and then the client goes away and the rest of the team comes in and it's like magic wand waving around, poof, and then they come back and there's all these pretty clear stackable containers, everything's rainbow-fied, it's like beautiful.
It sounds like a lot of work to me.
It is, and it's definitely like the higher level of organising. So when we talk about organising, we talk about the decluttering comes first and the organising comes second, and you don't see a lot of the decluttering side on the show. There's one episode with, I think it's Rachel Zoe, who is a fashion designer, and she has a real problem with letting go. So they call it the edit phase, the decluttering, and she's basically like, no, I can't let go of most of this stuff, and they just kind of make it fit. But I think what you probably don't see in the show is that there's probably a bunch of stuff that's been moved out into other areas that people then have to kind of deal with after, so that they can achieve that pretty look.
Yeah, get rid of just do the fun part of the job, not the unfun part on camera.
Yeah. So that's probably the flip side of the coin, is that a lot of people watching that want their home to look like that, but they're maybe not ready to go through that uncomfortable phase of making those decisions of letting go.
I'm looking at some images on their website right now, and there's a container filled with Fruit Loops, and I'm disappointed that they haven't separated the Fruit Loops out by colour.
Well, that's a COVID thing, so
But like they've got these, like, their packets of chips all sort of rainbow coloured, and I'm like, you've got to buy enough packets of chips so that you can justify having the yellow section.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. And I love the idea of the rainbow, but if you look at our selection of kids' books, there's probably not enough to make it a really pretty rainbow. So it really depends what you've got to be able to do it.
Yeah. All right, I want to ask a question about how we respond. We see the show and we can feel like we're supposed to have this Pinterest perfect pantry, but what actually is a healthy way to respond when we see and get inspired by a show like this one? Bonnie Black's our guest right now. We're going to keep talking with Little Miss Organised up next. Luke and Susie with you for Faith, Family, Culture. And we're catching up with Bonnie Black today. She's the host of the Little Home Organised podcast and Little Miss Organised herself. We're talking about the Home Edit. Get Organised with the Home Edit. It's a show on Netflix at the moment. And it is inspiring. It does inspire us to actually get our house under control, Bonnie. But what's a healthy way to respond?
I think much like when you see celebrities and the royals and the way that they're dressed and presented, we need to have a bit of a reality check that we probably don't have the financial resources or the emotional resources to achieve what the Home Edit is portraying. So it's good to kind of bring it down to, okay, so what's achievable for us? We want to get organised, but maybe we don't have the money to spend thousands of dollars on containers and product, as they like to call it, but let's shop around our house and find shoeboxes that are not being used. And I think that that was a really great thing about the Marie Kondo show, is that she just brought all these shoeboxes and empty cardboard boxes with her and gave them to her clients and said, use these when organising your drawers. So if we bring our expectations down a little bit, we can still be organised, but maybe in the meantime, we can repurpose some jars, some boxes and things like that to help our drawers stay a bit more organised to start with.
Oh my word, I'm looking at some of the pantries and I've looked at some of the makeup sections and I go, it would be amazing to get to the end of that and say, look at that, I've done it, I've achieved it, what a work of art. But what's the toll of trying to actually keep it that way when you're functionally using it in your life?
Well, I guess the whole premise of organising is to be a personal organising system that works exactly for you. So that's one thing I do like about what they do, is they make sure that they tailor the organising solution to how the space is actually used, rather than a cookie cutter solution that's like, oh, well, you have to use it like this because this is the only way we do it. And that's really important so that people can, people who need a dumping zone, well, you've got a dumping zone. You dump all your stuff into this box or this basket and we'll hide it away. But the rest of the organisation works. So it's a bit like dieting, I suppose. Once you've done the dieting, you need to have the good habits in place, because if you don't maintain it, you slip back into old habits.
Good news is, Sus, we suck at dieting too, so no pressure.
It's so good. It's so good to have some inspiration out there and an encouragement to get our homes in order so that they do work for us. It does make it, there's work that goes in on the top end, but in the long run, we win by having a place for everything and everything in its place. Bonnie Black, thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's fine.
I can't even imagine actually maintaining any of that.